The Last of Us Part 2 does a pretty good job of showing you the ropes, from snowball fights that teach you how to use throwables to the slow, natural rollout of how crafting works. In this video, we'll be going over how to make the most of the quieter times. Exploring and scavenging for materials makes up a lot of The Last of Us Part 2, so we've gathered a few of our best tips and tricks to get you started outright. Going off the beaten path will often lead to more than just crafting materials, supplements, or ammo. It can also unlock optional dialogue, so be sure to interact with letters and objects scattered throughout the world to get the most of the story.
What's this?
Oh, this is the Torah.
While weapon scraps and supplements may seem easy to come by, you'll never find enough of either to fully upgrade Ellie or her equipment in a single playthrough. So be smart and focus on maximizing your preferred playstyle when using those precious resources. Also, don't be afraid to save up your weapon scraps for a hefty upgrade. The weapon workbenches pop up fairly regularly. Entire skill paths are locked behind training manuals that are sprinkled throughout your journey. Make sure to explore every area and unlock every safe to gain access to these upgrades. Safes are something you'll run into often, and the combination for that safe is almost always nearby. Look for letters around the safe location that will sometimes flat out give you the code or give you a hint on where to find it, such as a specific date or even a phone number. If you can't find a letter, check the room itself for answers or hints. Having trouble finding the combination for a safe? Well, have I got good news for you. They can also be cracked. With a bit of patience and the volume turned up, you'll be able to hear a slight change in the tone of a dial's clicks when you reach the correct number. It's very subtle, but it could just save you some time in the long run. Exploring is great for getting resources, but you can only carry so many items, so don't hoard them. It would be a shame to pass up alcohol bottles because you're carrying too many when you have available health kit slots that aren't being used. Likewise, don't be afraid to throw that Molotov cocktail if you've been carrying 3 for the last 3 hours. Early in the story, Ellie, Dina, and Shimmer will find themselves in one of the more open world sections of the game. Here, you'll actually have a map and complete freedom to roam around. Use this time wisely to explore every building Ellie jots down.
Jotting this down.
You'll find key items that will tempt you to explore more buildings, collectibles, story moments, and more. When you feel it's time to leave a building or area, you'll know for certain that you found everything by Ellie's verbal call out that the place is empty. She'll even cross it out on the map.
Okay, I think we got what we need.
When playing through the story for the first time, don't stress about collecting everything all in one go. The Last of Us Part 2 has a great chapter select system that tells you how many collectibles you're missing in a chapter after you've beaten it. You can always go back. Don't forget that Ellie can go fully prone, and of course, Naughty Dog used this mechanic to hide even more items. So if you're really on the hunt for items or collectibles, make sure to crawl under bathroom stalls or even under beds. Don't be afraid to break all the glass you can, as long as there are no enemies around to hear you, of course. Vending machines usually house health, and some windows may even lead to areas not otherwise accessible. It's also worth mentioning that the game tells you can break glass by throwing something through it, but you can also shoot or just melee it. If you're hunting collectibles, don't ignore corkboards or walls. Someone may have pinned a valuable trading card up against some other papers. We've noticed a few important items can appear in different locations. If you miss a manual or new gun for the first time around, it may appear a few sections later. Occasionally, collectibles appear in slightly different locations too. The cause of this is unclear, but that's just all the more reason to leave no drawer unopened or area unexplored. Going for the coveted Platinum Trophy? The Last of Us Part 2 doesn't have any difficulty-based trophies, but you will have to play through at least some of the game again to fully upgrade your character. Thanks for watching. For more on Last of Us Part 2, make sure to check out the opening moments of the game or watch our full review. Also make sure to check out our companion video where we give you the best combat tips we can gather. And of course, for more tips and tricks, make sure to head on over to our guide. And for everything else, stick with IGN.